Is James Gunn's DCEU already dead, done with, put a fork in it? We are moving on to something new. Now hold on, all the gun lovers. That was an interesting way of putting it. Anyway, YouTube, don't censor me. I didn't mean it like that. This is not about trashing James Gunn at all. I'm not going after him. I'm not saying, oh, they got to get rid of it because I didn't like it or anything like that. No, this is about what we see here. And we've got it from James Gunn himself because obviously stuff like this with sales and everything, always a lot of rumors. But as you can see here, Warner Brothers has announced that they are now officially considering acquisition offers. They will launch a comprehensive review of strategic alternatives for a whole or partial sale of the company. And look, when stuff like that happens, we have major changes of studios and things like that. And obviously, this will affect Warner Brothers. It'll affect obviously it'll affect Warner Brothers. I meant to say it'll affect DC in some way. And so when you get new people coming in, a lot of times they're like, we want to put our stamp on it. We want to put our creative stamp on it. We want to do things a little differently. And I actually have James Gunn talking about it. I'll play the clip here in a second, but it made me think. I don't know if you know who William Goldman is, but he's an incredibly accomplished. I believe he's passed. An incredibly accomplished screenwriter, novelist. He wrote the Princess Bride. He wrote the screenplay for Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, among many many other massive hits. The Ghost in the Darkness, and in that, he actually told a story about Michael Douglas, who came on as producer. He was originally not in that movie. He came on and he talked about how great he was and how supportive he was of the creative vision and doing anything he can to help, to help get that on screen. And it was just an amazing thing to work with him on. And then he got attached to it. Michael Douglas got attached to it as an actor, and or was it the other way around? Oh man, now this affects my story. But anyway, he said it was completely different in terms of what, and it completely changed the entire screenplay into something that William Goldman thought was less than. And my point being, setting aside whether the financial success is there or not, you get someone in, buys Warner Brothers, they might want to install someone new at DC, which would not be James Gunn because they want to put a stamp on it, or maybe they keep James Gunn, but they put someone above him, and it completely changes the vision. And they figure, you know what? Maybe it's easier to just wipe the slate clean, although they've already done that once recently. So it gets really, really tricky. But here is James Gunn talking about this very thing.
Absolutely. So one thing I've been really curious about is you've referenced things like Peacemaker season 2 and Lanterns setting up different threads and arcs. How far do these arcs go? Like, do they culminate in Man of Tomorrow, or can we expect them to go further than that?
Yes, they definitely go significantly further than Man of Tomorrow.
Okay.
So
Okay.
now whether or not that'll be me that's able to fulfill that promise depends
Yeah.
on a lot of things in life. But yeah,
So
So there you have it from James himself. I mean, so this idea that it could be sold and changes could be made and then reset the DC again, or DCEU, very, very much a possibility. And by the way, I will say this, even though the stuff that's been done since the reset, I have not been that impressed by myself. You may enjoy it, and that's cool. Like I'm not here to trash, believe it or not, James Gunn or anything like that. I'm not a huge Snyder fan, although everyone assumes I am when I say something negative about James Gunn. But what I do like, and I want to bring this back to Marvel for a second, which we know James Gunn was there, is I like what he talked about intertwining these things, connecting them, letting them go out a longer period of time, which is one of the things that was so unbelievably successful and loved within the Marvel universe, that Marvel has gotten, once Endgame ended, it became an absolute mess. And I'm not even talking about like the whole identity politics or anything like that they were getting into, but there just didn't seem to be this long-term vision in terms of the way everything connected. And then now we're going right into Avengers Doomsday, which it seems like everybody who's ever been a character in Marvel Comics is going to appear in this movie. We're just jumping from to Endgame. We're jumping to Infinity Wars, jumping to Endgame without this buildup, without these movies that set you on a clear path going forward. So I like that James Gunn has that, and maybe that is actually something that will save this DCEU as opposed to someone new comes in and says, "Well, okay, you did these few movies, but we don't have anything else going forward anyway, so we're not that far along. We're just going to trash it and start completely over." Where is as if they come in and James Gunn can show them, "I've got this vision. Here's how everything connects, how it progresses, how it goes forward over, 5, 10, 15 movies." Then they might say, "Hey, you know what? We like that. Everything's set." And they might still make some creative changes for each film and that type of stuff, but it might be a lot more likely that James Gunn sticks around, or at least his vision for the most part sticks around in terms of what DCEU does going forward into the future. That would be interesting. So anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for checking out the video as always. Do me a favor, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Go check out my 10 underrated horror movies that you need to watch and probably haven't, because that seems to be the best video by far on the channel. So appreciate everyone who has subscribed through that video, viewed that video, liked it. That's pretty awesome. And I will talk to you in the next one.